Hello, it's Morgan again here from 4th Street. Morgan here from MB Show Control. Yes, that's what I am looking to go down and show you guys a little bit more around Lightkey and how you can actually get set up, and what it is that you can achieve with Lightkey, right? So. Um, at the moment, I'm kind of preparing my band for a little, a big gig we're looking to put on in October, which is going to be pretty cool. But ultimately, I wanted to show you how you can get Lightkey. So once you've downloaded it, obviously I've paid for a license for 256 DMX channels, so I've got that until January next year. But you can download the free trial. Well, so it's not a trial actually; it's just free, and you can get 24 DMX channels. Um, so once you've got that on your MacBook and you're set up, you can open up a new project. So let's just call this. We'll call it test, and we'll save it. So you'll be greeted by this kind of screen. This is where you would link your USB DMX interface basically, so you can buy them pretty cheap, 70 quid from Thomann or from a few other places, Amazon for example. The one that we have basically can control it to 512. You can go into ArtNet, which is over Ethernet cable, but there's a few others. But at the moment, we're just going to click no DMX output because I haven't got it linked in. Then you're going to be greeted by your fixtures. So right here, you've got so many different brands of lights, and so likelihood is that your brand of light will be on here. If in the if it's not, I'd be skeptical of the lights you bought, potentially, or they could be super brands, but I mean generally speaking, you're going to see a you know you're going to see a lot of lights in here. What we're going to do is just show you. I'm going to build out the kind of lights that we've got here, which are these ones. So we've got two of those on the 14 channel mode. We have three of these. So you just, once you found your lights, you just drag and drop. And that's four of those. And then we have two of these in the 10 channel mode. So you can do smaller channels to save up, but you don't get as much of the the functionality of that fixture then. So next, it's going to bring you to this page, and this is where you're going to build and preview it. This is where you're going to build what your show looks like, right? So you can move them around. So we've got our fixtures up here, and you get like nice aligning tools really. It's quite fun to kind of put where you want them for your show, and you can kind of come up with some ideas and build some trussing. It's just pretty nice to see. So we've got these up on speakers. So these are kind of on top of speakers, and these kind of hang to the side. And we've kind of made some clamps so they're not kind of swinging around. And then these ones are up by the drums. So and then these ones are generally pointing. Now in this screen, you can come back to this screen quite regularly. But it's this is where you kind of get your light directions as well. Now you can make your strips smaller quite a bit, but you can't see the lights as much. So sometimes you can just deal with this. But beam directions is something that you can look at here as well. So generally, they're going to be up towards the drums, and you can do this with pretty much a lot of fixtures. I'm just showing you with ours. So some might be different. And certain lights will have beam colors, but we're not, gobos and whatnot. So that's not too drastic, but it's nice and easy, right? The interface is just kind of really easy to kind of set up and whatnot. If you want beam direction down on the band, that's quite nice. Cool. So you've got your shapes and images up here on the right hand side as well. So you want to place a drummer in there just for, or if you've potentially got some trussing, you can build that across like that. We don't, but the option is there. Some text as well if you want, or any sort of shape. So that's pretty easy. And then you go to next. Now I've not used this functionality, so I know that doesn't necessarily help, but you can group your fixtures. So when you group your fixtures, what happens is if you wanted to do something different just with that one group all the time, you can group them pretty much there. And so you just use this tool here, and that's something that you can do. You can group them then as well, if you wish. All right, so they're now not grouped, but if you want to group them, you can. So I'm not going to group them for the sake of this video, but we can come back to it very soon. But that's up to you whether you want to group your fixtures and what functionality that brings. Brilliant. Light beam directions, we've done that. That's fine. So we're going to leave those, and that's pretty much it. So let's go. Cool. So now you're greeted with this screen. Let's just black out all of these lights just so that they don't confuse us. So generally speaking, what you're going to do is Lightkey will have some preset palettes that you can use for each light. So create some presets for me. So this is like not a bad start, to be fair. So you can, so let's just turn up the beams there. Let's ignore the, sorry. Let's take these off. And we're going to edit. So you'll be able to see what those colors are. And it'll just change those fixtures themselves. And what that actually looks like. So I don't tend to use these because they, I want kind of everything looking pretty much the same. So what I think you can do, and this is the bit that I really enjoy, right? So I tend to come to this little part up here, and when you click on color here, it gives you a whole host of effects basically that then you can customize. So ultimately, if I wanted, say, let's just click the butterflies one, right? It's just pink. Okay, so it says it looks best on certain things, right? It gives you a color palette and the color effect. It gives you your type of your type of effect here as well. You've got your fixture order, which is really cool. So we'll just jump into that. Generally speaking, I tend to use these presets, right, and then adjust the colors. And once I've got one, I use it on a lot of different things. So say if we want like a red and white, right, that gives us a really nice cool. And then do we want more steps? Do we want nice smooth changeovers that gives a really nice kind of tone in the middle there as well? How many steps do we want? We just want one change. Do we want more than one change? We want two changes because it's kind of like the lights. We can speed that up. It kind of goes nuts a little bit if you want. And you've got a phase as well. So for example, if these like strips are up here, it'll phase between it, which is really cool. Your chase, you can change what that looks like. So different kind of fills, yo-yos. Yeah, so you can have a play with that, right? I prefer the chase. That's my kind of fun, or that's my kind of preferred go-to. So what you can do is now copy and paste. So I've copied that. I can go over to this one, highlight it, and paste, and that pastes that same effect, and it works to together as well. So if I change that from right to left now, it goes from right to left, and they work together, right? What you can do as well at this point, clear that property, okay, and we can highlight everything and link them all together. Look at that. Now, what I tend to do with these LED bars, if you've got them, or the strips, this is where the functionality of so you click on that edit and the fixture order, right? So I tend to do top to bottom. Now, at that point, it's playing with all of the one effect. So what I tend to do at this point is, if we clear off those fixtures, okay, we've got these fixtures can stay like that. Let's highlight all of these fixtures, right? They're currently blue. If we drop back in that effect separately to everything, we can then change the fixture order from top to bottom. Now, obviously, you can do from side to side if you're kind of looking to do side to side. That's kind of pretty cool, right? So let's copy that. Let's just make sure it's copied. It's color effect, and you can call that red and white chorus. Done. Then you've got your first kind of, so when you click on that, boom. Okay, so you've now just built your first kind of preset with your lights, right? Rather than this basic, the basic ones that you get from there. Now, when you are doing this live, you don't really want to be clicking through all these different presets, right? So let's just duplicate this, okay? And it's going to call it red and white chorus 2. What we probably don't want it to be red and white. We probably want to go for a green, right? So let's go for the green. Click on here. It's just the standard green. You've got the color wheels that you can use. Ultraviolet, which is pretty nice. So certain fixtures have that. So update. So you want to call it green and white chorus. Okay. So I showed you the live pages and the queue pages beforehand, but just a quick rundown. So this is your control panel. Manage your live pages. So you have different options, right? So you have an empty page and a queue list. Let's use the empty page. So let's just do presets, live. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to drag and drop these onto our page, right? Not together. Sorry. You're going to individually drag them in, okay? And that's going to give you a button that you can click. So rather than, so if you're in a live scenario, so this is your verse, for example, and then this is going to be your chorus, you can just click between them, all right? Now, obviously there's it's toggle, so you can change that to kind of flash, so you can hold it down if you want. You can also, if you've got like a nicer MIDI controller or like a DJ controller, you can potentially add a trigger to that. So you could just press, I don't know, button G for now, right? So if I press G, it's there. So if I turn that back to toggle, press G, and that works, right? So if I press G again, that's fine. It's off. Okay, so it's push button, and then we can set this one here to F, for example. So F, G, F, right? So that is on and off. Brilliant. So that's just kind of how you can get it. So you can do as much as you want with these now. So what you could do is duplicate that, and you could call it green and white endings, right? So you want some flashy lights. So you've got that. You can highlight all and you can start strobing, and that will send your audience into an absolute hysterics. And that's how that works. So you've got pulses on some of these, which is really cool to see. You've got strobing. You've got lots of different things that you can do basically with your lights. There's obviously other modes. I haven't kind of jumped into these, but you can play with all of these. But generally, this is just a brief kind of interaction with what we do and how I've set them up. So you can drag that onto there. And if you're using Ableton as well, you need to drag into this section for it to show in the presets in Ableton. So we've got quite a lot going on, but that test has just come there. The presets live, and they're on there as well. And then so they automatically update as long as it's on the same Mac. So that's pretty cool to see. Lovely stuff. Right. Well, I don't want to kind of talk about this too much more, but I'm hoping that you've kind of learnt from this now, more than you would have if you were just trying this blind. So hopefully you're taking away some of the things that I have taken away, and that I'm learning, and hopefully we can learn together. So brilliant. Thank you very much.